we've got some amazing new images of Avatar: The Way of Water, which provide us with a bunch of new details. And in this video, I want to focus on one of those images because there's a specific one that provides us with quite a bunch of information to talk about. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day. And if you're new to my channel and want to follow everything Avatar related, then why not click that subscribe button. Now the image that I'm referring to is the one you see on the screen at the moment, and just looking at it, I'm a bit lost for words at how spectacular, how awe-inspiring, how amazing this image is. And as I said, there is a bunch of new images that I will go over in a different video, but this one with Jake in front of the SeaDragon gives us so much information. And right at the front, it does seem like Jake is possibly sitting on a skim wing. Based on the shape and the tail, it is likely that he is sitting on a skim wing. Now the first thing that I want to point out is right at the top on the right side, you can see is a sea wasp, which we know is used for Tulkun spotting. And looking at the overall shape of the SeaDragon, it does not seem like the SeaDragon is damaged, or not damaged yet at least. Even looking at the 4 engines, it doesn't seem like any one of them is damaged or has been set on fire. There's no smoke, there's no fire on the SeaDragon, there's no damage at all. So I'm guessing this happens right before the final battle. We've seen the SeaDragon on fire, we've seen Payakan jumping on the SeaDragon, and I'm guessing all of this happens right before those scenes. And I say that because if you zoom into this image, you can even spot Lo'ak and Tirea sitting on the SeaDragon with the recom holding onto the back of Lo'ak. Now we know that Lo'ak, Tirea and Tuk is on top of a SeaDragon because we know based from that scene of the trailer that Payakan jumps onto the SeaDragon where we see them handcuffed to the railing of the SeaDragon. So seeing them on top of the SeaDragon obviously indicates that this happens before that scene. Moving on to the very left side of the scene, you can see an Ikran sitting on top of one of those yellow metal bars, and looking at the neck of the Ikran, you can actually see that it's wearing the same device that we saw in the last trailer where we saw the recoms flying the Ikrans. This certainly indicates that the Ikrans are controlled by the RDA, likely due to them having these devices around their necks. And there is not just one, but actually 4 different Ikrans sitting on top of the SeaDragon. You have the one on the left that I just spoke about, you have 2 at the top and then 1 at the right, all of them seemingly having those devices around their necks. You can also spot 2 crab suits on top of the SeaDragon, one in the front, a little bit more to the right, and then one right there in the middle sticking out at the back. Additionally, what I noticed when looking at the 4 RDA boats in front of the SeaDragon, looking right behind the boats, I'm not really seeing any water splashing, and what I mean by that is, of course, if a boat is riding through the ocean, you can see streams of water, but it doesn't really seem like that is happening. It's almost like the SeaDragon is just standing there with all of the RDA forces standing there in front of Jake, trying to make a statement of sorts, almost as if they're saying to Jake, like, do you really want to take on this force, or just waiting for him to make the first move? What I could potentially see happen in the scene is Jake kind of taunting them and then quickly turning around, making them follow Jake, or even Jake waiting for Payakan, knowing that Payakan is going to make the first strike. So it's almost like Jake is kind of distracting them, all of them looking on Jake because we know that the RDA is, Jake is their number 1 target, not being aware of what's happening below the water, and then all of a sudden Payakan just jumps out of the water out of nowhere on top of the SeaDragon, because like I said in the beginning of this video, we know that this is the SeaDragon that Payakan jumps on based on the fact that Lo'ak and Tirea is tied to the railing. I also spotted a couple of recon soldiers on top of the SeaDragon as well as RDA soldiers wearing that exosuit and looking at the skies. If you remember from the last trailer where Neytiri attacks from the sky, where she aims her bow and arrow towards a sea wasp, I can actually see that happening in this scene as well, because we know based from that scene in the trailer that we do briefly spot a SeaDragon, which is likely this one we see in front of Jake. So again, I can see a scenario of Jake being the bait, being the distraction, where Payakan attacks from below and Neytiri attacks from above, followed by the Metkayina attacking from the front. But like I said, looking at this image overall, this is just a really stunning image, and this certainly is an image that I wouldn't mind having a poster of, and I absolutely cannot wait to see this in the IMAX. But there is a couple of more images that I want to talk about, but I'll keep that for a different video, as they're not as detailed as this image, but they're certainly worth talking about. So keep an eye out for that video later. But if I missed something in this image, then let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think of this image. For more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.